How's everyone doing, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping yet another video. Right, guys, this video, I've not actually done a video like this. I've done like rants, I've done educational stuff. This is another educational one. All right, so say that you've got a loved one, your fellow, your missus, because female prisoners, or you've got a son or a loved one that's like, they've been arrested on the street, they've been denied police bail, they go to court, they've ended up in prison, they ring you from prison. Right, just to let you know, I'm in jail, right? And you don't know what to do, like say you haven't got a clue yet. Right, so so when they ring you, right, grab a pen, right, because they've only got a 2-minute phone call when you get booked in, yeah. So you get a pen, write down his prison number, what prison he's in, right. Then the first visit that's due to be booked, right, has to be booked by the prisoner's family or the prisoner's girlfriend. It's called a reception visit, guys, right. So you'd have to book that first visit. So it's normally after 24 hours, you would ring up and try and get a visit, and try and get a visit, and try and get a visit, right? Then, like, you need to, like, because obviously, if they've got, say they've got their own property, flat houses and stuff, like, they might have pets and stuff, right? So say that they didn't know they was getting arrested. They've been arrested, they've been denied bail, they've ended up in prison, right? They could have pets. The prison service and the police don't give a shit. They could have animals, they could have, like, rubbish in the house, so you need to get rid of all that stuff, feed the animals, stuff like that. Book the reception visit, right? Then you've got 20, depending on what prison they're in, right? Like Forest Bank, for example, you've got 28 days to get any clothes for the prisoner into the prison. And you normally take it down when you've got a visit. You go down about half an hour before with all the clothes and stuff, because when you're in prison, for those that don't know, you have an allowance, right? You're allowed so many things on your prop card, whether it's t-shirts, shorts, dressing gown, trainers, things like that, right? So you're allowed, like, I think, like, you've got an allowance, you're allowed so many. So if you turn up with 20 t-shirts, right, they might be allowed 10, right? So you've got to say, the screws might ask you, well, do you want these 10? Do you want that 10? Do you want these couple, what? Right, so you get the clothes in, yeah? Right, because there's not enough advice out there for people that have got someone that's ended up in jail, right? So my other advice would be, don't send cash in, right? Never send cash in an envelope to your son or your daughter in prison, or to your girlfriend or to your husband or whatever in prison, because money can be taken out and there's no proof that that money was ever there. So don't send money. Always do it via PTS payment. PTS payments and a wired connection where it's traceable and stuff. It's from your bank straight to the prison. Not every prison does it, so you'll have to check. It's called a PTS payment. So Google the name of the prison, Google PTS payment, and see if they do it, right? Then you've got email a prisoner. Email a prisoner is the cheapest way to communicate with somebody in prison, right? So I think it's about, you've got to put credit onto this website. It's all legal and above board. I think the website's like www.emailaprisoner.com. Some prisoners can respond, a lot of prisoners can't, because it depends what prison you're in. Some prisons are more advanced than others. No consistency within the prison system at all. Going back to if you're sending money to a loved one in prison, PTS payments, one option. The other option is postal order. Now, again, postal orders, right? It changes with each prison, right? You can get a postal order from the post office, right? But the post office will say, who do you want it making payable to? You don't make it payable to your son or to your daughter, right? You don't, or to your loved one, right? You make it pay. You Google postal order and the prison that your loved one's in, right? Because some are payable to NOMS, which is National Offender Management System Service. You've got the governor. It might just say governor, or HMP Manchester governor, or things like that. Pay NOMS, which is National Offender Management System Services, even. So that's that. So you've got to check on the website when you've got a postal order, right? So you go to the post office, you say, I want a £50, £30 postal order made payable to the governor, right, or HMP or Her Majesty's Prison, whoever it may be, right, for £30. They'll charge you an admin fee, which is like a couple of quid, right? The more you spend, the higher it goes. On the back of that, when you've got it and you've paid for it, on the top at the back, you write the prisoner's number, the last name, and then below, there's like a place where you can put your last name, your first name, your address. Always do that, because they can always send it back. There's also a charity box. Don't tick it, because if you tick it, your postal orders go into charity. There's nothing wrong with charity and stuff. It's a fantastic thing. But when you're sending money in for a loved one, you don't want it to go to charity, do you? And not know about it. right? So my other advice to like send, obviously when they've got money in, if you've got a landline, give them your landline number because they might not know it, right? So the landline number, it's cheaper to ring from the prison phone to a landline than it is a mobile. It's like a pay phone, right? You use your PIN, your credit's there, and you've got so many cleared numbers, and you can ring them cleared numbers and stuff, right? Unless you've got a mobile phone, you can just ring your loved one anyway. My advice for keeping, because if you first land in prison for the first time and stuff, right, your loved one's head's going to be all over, right? They're in prison. They don't know how it works. There's prisoners' rules, there's cons rules, they're locked behind a door, they might not like the cellmate, they might have mental health issues, they might need medication, things like that. It plays out that way. So the red's going to be all over, right? They've not got their own comforts, right? So my advice, get them money in, because when they've got money in, they can put credit on the PIN, they can ring you. Keeps your head on your shoulders, keeps their head on the shoulders, gives them focus, gives them a light at the end of the tunnel, right? Then you've got, what am I thinking? Photographs, right? When you're in prison, prisons are very low, even though you're surrounded by people, very lonely place. No one can do your jail for you, right? So what you do, what I would do, if you've got a loved one that's in prison, go through their social media, find pictures, like group pictures of you together, pictures with their friends, pictures with their children, things like that, yeah. Put them pictures together, go to Asda, get them printed out, a load of them, send them into the prison, right? The prison will go through them photographs. Some people send dirty pictures to the loved ones in prison, whether it's the partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, right? They send them dirty pictures, but like certain pictures won't get through. If it's like everything's out, you won't get through. You've got to like cover the nipples and cover the privates and stuff, right? But if it's a decent screw, they'll let the pictures get through. If it's a job's worth, the pictures won't get through, and the screws will just perv on them, right? So you send normal pictures, friends, family, children, things like that. Send a load of them, right? That's my advice. Send them into the prison. It's not going to be cheap, that. You could be paying 25, 26, 27, 28 quid for a load of pictures. Then you're sending them to the prison. Obviously, you've got to get them weighed at the post office to then send them into the prison. You can send them recorded or special delivery. You're paying more for your special delivery. You can send them recorded. They arrive at the prison staff will go through them. They'll then take, that afternoon, they'll go up to his cell. If it can go under the door, they'll fit under the door. If they can't, they'll open a door and hand over the envelope with the pictures in it. The pictures then, the loved one inside prison, he'll look through them. He'll get some prison toothpaste, which is like, or glue, as we call it in prison. You put it on the back of the picture, on each corner and in the middle, and you stick it on the wall. Like prison glue, prison toothpaste is used as glue. Anyone that's been in jail will know that. Makes a mess of your walls and stuff like that. Some prisons and stuff have got like a little, like a white, like you've got like, you might have a white cell with a grey thing, and you can put all your pictures in there, and they're not allowed to come out of there. Other prisons, they don't care. You can have pictures up and down the wall. Some people send in laminated pictures as well, but that's a lot of effort. Like I say, just to keep your head on the shoulders and stuff. Get the reception visit booked, right? You have to book that, right? That's in my experience anyway. Strangeways and Forest Bank, the family book the first visit, and then it's after the first visit. So you ring the prison, you give them, you say, I want to visit at 2 o'clock on Tuesday. If 2 o'clock on Tuesday is available, you'll get that slot, right? And then you've got to take loads of ID. Make sure, guys, never turn up on a visit without relevant ID, because the first time you go to the prison, you've got to prove who you are beyond any reasonable doubt, right? Photograph ID, passport, driving license, utility bill, rent statement, like all things like that, tenancy agreement, things like that. The more you take, the more likely you to get in. Once you've done it the first time and you're on the system, your fingerprint's on the system, you can go each time and stuff. Always have your ID, just in case some screw is being a job's worth cunt and says, have you got your ID? No, can't let you in, right? It goes on, believe me. And not everyone's in prison where the families are from or where they live. Some are housed 200, 300 miles away. So you don't want to travel 200, 300 miles and not get in a prison because some jobs with screws having a bad day, right? So take your ID, so book the reception visit, tell them the time, tell them they'll ask for your son's prison number, his name, things like that, and his date of birth, right? You tell them, you book the visit. The visit will be booked. Make sure you get there in good time. Some prisons you can turn up half an hour before. Some prisons, like Strangeways, you're talking 45 minutes before. Then the people in the visiting centres, they all queue up and stuff, and you've got your ID and you go through and stuff. You're normally allowed like £10, £20 to go through to buy food and stuff, and your locker key. Always put your stuff. Never leave stuff in your car. Leave it in the lockers in the visiting room, because you put £1 in. Put your mobile phone, your bag, your keys, your coats in there. Don't leave them in your car, because if someone breaks into your car, they're going to be off with everything, aren't they? So make sure you do that. Then you're allowed to go up to the top with the money and your key. Like I say, if you're in a Cat A, if your loved one's in a Cat A prison, very, very secure prison, very yeah, very secure. So you've got to go through more security than you would if you was, say, at a Cat B prison, a Cat C, and then you've got open prison, which is Cat D, which is so prisons are categorized: Cat A, Cat B, Cat C, Cat D. Cat A is maximum security, but it doesn't just mean it houses like Cat A prisoners. You've got it's a multi-category prison. You've got a Cat A wing, you've got the lifers wing, blah blah blah. Then you've got a Cat B wing, houses Cat B prisoners, Cat C prisoners. Then you get to a Cat C, then you can get your Cat D, and then so on and so forth. So that you work your way around and stuff, right? So you go on your visit. You have your first visit depending on what prison you're in, and some prisons are half an hour, some prisons are an hour. It goes on that way. You get the visit and stuff like that. I can't tell you how important visits are to a prisoner, is mental health. I don't care, even if he's not got any mental health issues, right? I can't tell you and put a price on how important it is to have visits while in prison, right? If you've got a loved one and family behind you, don't cut them off, right? Because it's the worst thing you can do. Keep your family close. It gives you a focus, gives you light at the end of the tunnel. And like I say, families are a massive, massive morale boost, and visits and stuff. Visits, pictures, phone calls are a huge morale boost for prisoners. They really, really are. It can snap them. They could be feeling suicidal. They could be depressed. They get a visit. They get a phone call. They get some pictures. Cheers them up. And then they're not in that dark place anymore. Prison is very relentless. It doesn't discriminate regardless of age, sexuality, gender, race, religion, health, anything. It just doesn't discriminate. It affects everybody. And family are on the same roller coaster as the prisoner's on when he's in prison. Because when you're up, the family are up. When you're down as a prisoner, the family are down. So like I say, make sure you get on that visit, have a great visit, take money up, right? Because prison food's shocking. Like Strangeways, I lost 2 stone in 6 weeks, right? I could do with going back there, to be honest. I need to lose some more weight, but we won't go into that, right? So yeah, so you can buy food for your loved ones, sandwiches, soups, chocolate, drinks, pop, things like that, right? Buy them as much as you can on the visit, because prison food's shocking. Right, the visits are amazing. Like, it's a proper morale boost, right? You go up for the visits and everyone's excited and stuff. When the visit's over and you're saying bye to your loved ones, and the prisoner stays seated, the families go, they leave the jail. We like in Strangeways, we go back down the stairs. We're all in the room at the bottom. We're all like depressed and stuff, because we're not going to see our families again till the next day if you're on remand, or if you're convicted, you get 1 visit a week and stuff once you're convicted, right? So then you're all depressed and stuff because you're thinking about your loved ones and stuff like that. And then you go back to the wing and stuff, and you perk up again because you're back on the wing and stuff, but you're still thinking about your loved one and stuff, right? Like I say, so pictures, phone calls, things like that. It's all morale boost. It really, really is. And I can't tell you, like, it can be the difference. I genuinely believe, right, that family visits and stuff and family ties whilst in prison can be the difference between life and death, right? If you've got a loved one that's in prison and is a self-harmer, it goes on, mental health issues, suffers with depression, things like that. Prison affects you mentally, right? We're guys and we're macho and we don't admit that stuff, do we? But it does. It affects your mentality. It affects your psyche. It affects you, the prisoner, right? But it also affects the prisoners' families, mentally, psychologically, not to mention emotionally and financially as well, because it's very expensive to support somebody in prison and stuff. So like I say, this is my advice for things that you do for your loved one when they're in prison and stuff, right? Prison does funny things to you. It messes with your head and stuff. If you got a relationship with someone that's landed in prison and stuff, like, prison does funny things to you. You push people away. You become very paranoid. You become very jealous, very insecure. A lot of people in prison are already that anyway, because we're guys, we're the most insecure creatures on earth. But if you've got a loved one in prison, all these things that I've just told you about postal orders, sending pictures in, sending money in, like I say, see the different ways you can do that. Getting the clothes in within like 28 days and stuff like that. Visits, write them letters, email a prisoner, pictures, be at the end of the phone so they can ring you. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm going over all ground now, aren't I? So I'm going to shut up. Right, guys, going to leave this video here, right? As always, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Happy New Year. The beard's coming along. Thank you for all the support. I'm up, like, I think 1,264, 65 subscribers now. I'm gaining momentum all the time. I'm extremely grateful for you guys. Hope you had a great Christmas. Hope you had a great New Year. Seeing all the headlines in the media about there was 4 murders in London on New Year's Eve at the hands of knives and stuff, which is crazy. The University of Coventry want me to go and do a big speech there on the 20th of March, which I'm really, really looking forward to. I can't wait for that. I've just got off the phone actually before I did this vlog, so that's something that I'm looking forward to. Still doing the interviews with the media and stuff, but I don't really care about doing that. I just speak out for prisoners' families, things like that. I'm currently doing this fundraising thing, which is fantastic. I'm really proud of myself because I put a lot of time and effort into that. So it's all good, man. Right, guys, let me know what you guys are up to. If there's any videos you want me to do, and I'll happy to do them. Like, comment, subscribe. Speak to you all soon, guys. Bye.